Most Australians will hit $100,000, $500,000, and $1 million at some point in their lives. But almost nobody knows when it actually happens. And the gap between when you think you'll get there and when the data says you will is massive. That gap is where most people lose years of wealth building without even realizing it. Today, we're going to break down the exact ages when the average Australian reaches each of those 3 milestones. The real numbers might surprise you. They might frustrate you. But more importantly, they'll show you precisely where you stand and what you can do to get ahead of the curve. Let's start with the baseline. According to the latest ABS data analyzed by KPMG for the 2024-25 financial year, the average Australian household net worth now sits at $1.66 million. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the catch. That's a household average, not an individual average. And it's the mean, not the median. A handful of ultra-wealthy families drag that number up. The median tells a very different story. And the difference between average and median matters more than most people realize. If 9 people have $100,000 and 1 person has $10 million, the average is over $1 million. But the median, the middle person, still has $100,000. That's closer to reality for most Australians. When you look at median individual net worth by age, the picture gets real. Australians aged 18 to 24 have a median net worth of just $42,000. At 25 to 29, that climbs to $92,000. By 30 to 34, it reaches about $210,000. And by 35 to 39, it's around $360,000. So, when does the typical Australian actually cross the $100,000 mark? Based on the latest median figures, it happens somewhere between 25 and 29. For most people, that first $100,000 arrives in their late 20s. And honestly, that's later than most finance influencers want you to believe. Here's why this milestone matters so much. There's a reason experienced investors say the first $100,000 is the hardest. And the maths proves it. When you're building from zero, nearly all of your growth comes from your own savings. You're doing all the heavy lifting yourself. Your money isn't generating enough returns yet to make a noticeable difference. But once you cross $100,000, something shifts. Compound interest starts pulling serious weight. At an 8% annual return, $100,000 generates $8,000 a year in growth. That's like getting an invisible pay rise every single year, and it only accelerates from there. Now, let's talk about the $500,000 milestone. Looking at the median net worth data, Australians typically cross $500,000 somewhere in their early to mid-40s. The median net worth for the 40 to 44 age bracket sits at $470,000, and by 45 to 49, it jumps to $610,000. So, the crossover point for the typical Aussie lands right around age 43 to 45. But here's what's interesting. The jump from $100,000 to $500,000 doesn't take as long as you'd expect. You spend roughly your entire 20s grinding to $100,000. But $100,000 to $500,000 can happen in about 15 years. Why? Because by your 30s and 40s, 3 things are working together. Your income has grown. Your super balance is compounding. And if you own property, rising home values are pushing your net worth higher. The KPMG data shows that Australians aged 35 to 44 recorded the largest 5-year increase in household wealth recently, rising by 63% to an average of $550,000, largely driven by those who bought property just after COVID. Property is actually the engine behind most Australian wealth. Housing assets make up close to 70% of average household net worth. That's massive. And it explains why the wealth gap between renters and homeowners grows wider every single year. Now for the big one. $1 million. When does the typical Australian household cross into seven-figure territory? Based on the median net worth data, individual Australians hit $1 million right at the tail end of their working lives. The median net worth for those aged 65 to 69 is $980,000, which means many Australians barely reach this milestone before retirement. However, average household net worth crosses $1 million much earlier. According to McCrindle and KPMG, the average Australian household aged over 55 has a net worth exceeding $1 million, and wealth peaks between ages 55 and 64, where average household net worth climbs to $2,507,000, but averages can be misleading. The reality is that super balances tell a sobering story. The average super balance for men aged 60 to 64 is about $396,000, and for women, it's roughly $313,000. So, for many Australians, reaching $1 million in net worth depends almost entirely on property. Without a home, that milestone can feel nearly impossible. And here's another gap that doesn't get talked about enough. Women in Australia retire with significantly less super than men in every single age bracket. A woman aged 60 to 64 has, on average, $83,000 less in super than a man of the same age. Whether it's time taken off for caring responsibilities, part-time work, or lower wages, the compounding effect of those earlier gaps hits hardest right when it matters most. So, here's the real takeaway. And this is the part I want you to remember. The timeline is not fixed. These are averages. And averages describe what happens when people do what most people do. But you don't have to follow that path. If you can hit $100,000 by 25 instead of 29, you've bought yourself 4 extra years of compounding. At 8% annual returns, that alone could mean an extra $300,000 by the time you're 50. If you add just $200 extra per month to your investment starting today, you could reach $500,000 5 to 7 years earlier than the average. Data from CanStar shows most Australians save between $500 and $730 per month, depending on age. Even small increases above that average make an enormous difference over decades. A 30-year-old investing an extra $250 per month at 8% returns would add roughly $375,000 by age 60. That's the power of starting early and staying consistent. And don't overlook your super. Consolidating multiple super accounts into one could save you hundreds of dollars a year in duplicate fees and insurance premiums. The ATO estimates around 4 million Australians still hold 2 or more super accounts. Making voluntary contributions, even small ones, can also trigger government co-contributions or tax deductions that effectively give you free money. The question isn't whether you'll get there, it's how quickly. And that depends on the decisions you make right now. If you found this valuable, subscribe to the channel. I break down Australian finance in a way that's simple, practical, and built for real people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.